Hello you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ansley if you are new here. Today I decided to film a little video on how I did my wedding makeup. So what you see now, I just did it, and this is exactly how I wore my makeup on my wedding day. I was an October 2023 bride and my ceremony was outside. It was about 5 p.m. So it was that golden hour. I wanted a very like glowy, kind of an elevated natural makeup look. I went back and forth for a really long time on whether or not to do my own makeup. And I actually did do a makeup trial with a makeup artist that ended up, she actually did my hair and all of the bridesmaids' hair and makeup. And I absolutely loved her. I loved the way that she did my makeup, but I am somebody that is just very picky with my makeup. I'm very picky about the way it's done. That's just a me thing. I just like to look like myself, and I feel like you look like yourself when you do your own makeup. I ended up trying it out on myself and was really happy with the way that it looked and decided to do it the day of. That can sound really scary. A lot of people advised me against it because it can seem like a very stressful thing or something that might stress you out the day of. And obviously on your wedding day, you don't need any more of that because there's enough stressors that pop up that day and that you're already feeling all of these nerves and whatever. But honestly, for me, doing my makeup is something that I actually enjoy doing. So I was really looking forward to just having a couple hours just to myself, just to focus on me and my makeup. And it was actually very therapeutic for me that day. It was really nice to just kind of like sit with myself and take those couple hours just to do my makeup. And I was really happy with the way that it turned out. I was very much going for a glowy look, very bridal, very like angelic glowy, kind of like bronze sun-kissed look. So I definitely feel like this look achieves all of those things. I was very happy with the way that it looked. Again, it was like right at sunset. The pictures just were beautiful. This makeup looked great in pictures, and it really did last me all night long. I was up until I think 3 in the morning on the night of my wedding because we had an after party, and the makeup, it was perfect. It stayed all night long. So I just wanted to make this video because I feel like when I was debating on doing my own makeup or not, I watched a lot of these kinds of videos, and it was really helpful for me to see how other people did it before deciding to do it myself. So I wanted to make this just to kind of show you guys how I did it, give you some ideas on products to use and ways to do it, and also to encourage you to do it too, because I highly recommend it. I had so much fun doing it. If I had to go back and do it all again, I would do it the exact same way. I was just really happy with how it looked, and I felt like me. I felt like I looked like myself. I just looked like an elevated version of myself. I didn't look like another person. I didn't look like I had my makeup done by somebody else that just doesn't know my face, and I was just really happy with the way that it turned out. So if you're a bride in 2024 or 2025, I highly recommend doing your own makeup. Just sit down, practice it, get some good products, watch some good tutorials, some good videos, and hopefully this video will help you out if you're debating on doing that or not, or you don't even know where to start, you don't know what products to get. I have lots of good recommendations. I show you step by step exactly how I did this. If you're a bride, congratulations. It is literally the best time of your life. I miss being a bride so much. It was such a great time, and it was just so much fun. You just get to spend so much time with your loved ones, which you don't really think about, but there's just so many events that you just get to have, like all of your family and all of your best friends together. And it was just some of the best months of my life. And obviously you get to marry your best friend, which is just so great. So congratulations to you guys if you are in that place of your life. Again, hopefully this helps you out if you are researching makeup artists or debating what you want to do. If you want to do it yourself, have somebody else do it. I know it can get pricey too, so this is definitely a way to save money, because yes, you can invest in good products, but you will be able to take them home at the end of the day and keep them. All the products that I had for my wedding back in October, I still have the same ones. I haven't had to repurchase a single thing, and I just felt like it was so worth it. It's just something that I am so glad that I did, and I'm so glad that I had that for myself that day. It was just really special to be able to do that. So hopefully this video helps you out if you're thinking about it. You can follow along with me step by step. I'll show you all the products I used, how I use them, all the different steps I took to achieve this makeup look. So enjoy. Okay, let's get into it. I have my whole setup down here. I've got like literally everything that I need out in front of me. With this, I started with my eyes, which I don't usually do. I wanted kind of like a subtle, not dramatic, but like I wanted it to be like a cut, like line from my eyeshadow. So I literally took Scotch tape, and this is pretty uncomfortable to do, but sorry, my mirror is right here, so that's why I am looking this way. But I just kind of like set the tape like kind of at the angle that I wanted the wing to go. Honestly, like one of the hardest parts about this is getting the tapes to match each other, like getting their angles to match. And you want them to kind of be like right on your lower lash line, like right below your lashes, so that way your eyeshadow isn't coming like below. My face was a lot tanner, by the way, so all of this stuff is probably going to be a little bit tan for me, but I used the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I had heard lots of good things about this concealer, so I bought it for wedding makeup stuff. I bought it in the shade Light, I don't know, 2.6. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids with this. I just take a damp beauty blender to do this. So for eyeshadow, this is hilarious because this palette is like 100 years old. It is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette that I've literally had since like middle school. I obviously like have not used it that much, and the look I was going for, like I've said, was very glowy, shimmery, light, kind of like an elevated natural look. So I really wanted these like shimmery shades, and a lot of these, let's see if I can show you, sorry, it's like really dirty, but a lot of these up here are super shimmery and sparkly, which I really, really liked. I'm just going to take a big fluffy eyeshadow brush. This one's got like a little rounded top. All the brushes that I'm using are Morphe as well. I'm gonna start by taking this like little like lighter brown shade and just kind of like sweeping it all over just to kind of start us out. But I start like kind of in my outer crease and just in like little circles, just sweep it across. Okay, I'm gonna do another little round of this just to get it a little bit darker. I'm somebody that gets super impatient with blending, but when I spend a decent amount of time on it, it ends up being very worth it, and I end up liking the way it looks better, especially for something like this, like something that you just want the whole entire look to be very seamless and natural looking. Obviously it's not going to look like I have no makeup on, but you want it to be very blended and seamless. Okay, so there's where we're starting off. Again, it looks kind of crazy with the tape because you can see like the eyeshadow on the tape. But okay, using the same brush, I'm gonna go in with like a little bit darker of a brown. I'm gonna go in with this one right here. It's a little bit warmer of a brown, a little bit darker. And I'm gonna focus it like more in my crease. Again, just using those like circular little motions like this and blending it outwards and also down towards the lid on the edges. And I also want to bring it all throughout my crease. I'm not really sure if this makeup palette is even sold anymore because like I said, it's extremely old, but I feel like these shades are just they're very typical like brown shimmery shades, and I feel like you guys can find something that's very similar to it. So now that that's all blended out, I'm gonna go with an even darker brown right here and just a little bit. Again, I just want to darken this up just a tiny bit, but not a ton. Just right in the crease, just to kind of give it some dimension. Okay, so this is about as dark as I want to get. So I'm just gonna take this smaller, like flatter little brush, and we are going to add some lighter colors. I'm gonna take this like super shimmery, almost a white, it's kind of like a creamy white, and we're gonna pop that on the brow bone. I have not done my brows, obviously. I like to do my brows after I have my face makeup on. Also going to add some of this in the inner corners of my eyes as well and bring it up to the brow. I'm gonna take the same kind of brush, it's just a little bit bigger, for some shimmery shades on my lid. So I'm gonna start with this like darker brown. It's very shimmery, very sparkly. Like really dig my brush into this to get like all of the sparkles in there. And I'm gonna start in the very middle of my lid and start it there, because I feel like this is a really good like transition shimmery shade from the lighter shades that will be in your inner corner towards the darker ones that are on the outside. Same brush, gonna go in with the lighter shimmery shade, this one right here. And this one I'm gonna go towards the inner corner of my eye on my lid and pop that right there. This I don't really like sweep, I kind of like press it into my eyelid. I find that with shimmery shades, if you sweep it, it's more likely to lose the pigment than it is if you press it into your eyelid. I'm gonna go back in with this same crease brush that I used from the very beginning in that same light brown shade that I started with, and just kind of sweep it everywhere just to kind of blend everything together since adding those lighter shades. Okay, now I am going to take this super shimmery eyeshadow. It is a ColourPop eyeshadow. The shade is Ladybird. It is the like sparkliest thing that I have. I don't even know if you guys can see this. It's crushed. Oh, and some just fell on the floor. It has so much shimmer, so much sparkle. I like to apply this with my finger. I feel like it just holds the shimmer better than a brush does. And this I'm going to like tap into my lid right on the corner. Okay, now for the little winged eyeliner that I will do. I do not use liquid liner. I've always found that it's very harsh on my eyes. I've never liked the way that it looks on my eyes. So instead, I usually take a dark brown color, like literally almost black. Like I usually will take this one or this one. And I will use a really thin eyeliner brush. This one's like a little like angled brush. There you go. And usually I will start with a little bit lighter of a brown just in case I don't like the way it is, but I will start kind of in the middle of my lash line, or I have to get a little close to the mirror for this. But basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of following the tape like that and bringing it upwards. That's another helpful thing about the tape. I am like very much a perfectionist when it comes to the little wing eyeliner. So after I do the outside, I'll come back in and I'll start bringing it towards my inner corner, still right on the lash line there. If you just want to darken it up just a little bit, that's basically where we're at. I am going to take this tape off. You can always adjust more of the eyeshadow. I probably will end up doing that. Very satisfying. It's nice cut wing, which is exactly what you want. I'll show you on this side as well. There we go. The eyes are pretty much done. I'm gonna take just a clean towel and just wipe some of this excess eyeshadow. Okay, let's start on the face. I just realized too, I didn't say that I put on primer before. Find whatever primer works for you. I feel like it really is dependent on the type of skin that you have, but I ended up using one of my friend's primers that was there. She had a really good one that I used. It was one of my bridesmaids. So I am going to prep my face now with these two things. My typical face moisturizer, I use this ordinary one, and then the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. You wanna start out with a really glowy base. I just rub my moisturizer in my fingers, and I'll just rub this all over my face. This looks orange, but my face is just very red for some reason. I don't know why. For foundation, I did a lot of research, watched a lot of videos, trying to figure out what foundation is good for wedding makeup. The foundation I typically use is this Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I love this stuff, swear by it. It's one of my holy grails, but it's pretty high coverage and it can be pretty thick. It doesn't look bad and it's not cakey, but I wanted something that was a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit more buildable. So I ended up going with this Georgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I absolutely love it. I felt like it's very glowy, very luminous, and it was just like exactly what I was going for. I got it in the shade 5.25. So I just take a couple pumps on the back of my hand. Really, if you're just gonna do one layer of this, you maybe need like one pump because it goes very far. And then I just take like a flat little foundation brush. I need to clean my brushes, that's so gross. And I just start rubbing this in. This stuff blends so well and makes your face just look so smooth and so glowy. I mean, literally, like, just from the cheek that I did versus the cheek that I didn't, you can just tell like how good this foundation is. It's definitely good for this look that I'm trying to achieve. And again, this foundation goes so far, like a little bit goes such a long way. This foundation, like I said, is so buildable. You can do multiple layers of this if you're somebody that wants to be able to build it up if you need to, or add more coverage with it. I think the day of, I ended up doing a couple layers of this just because my ceremony was outside, like I've said, and I was just so scared of it not lasting all day, just my makeup in general. So I really wanted to have like a strong base, but for now I'm just gonna do this one layer. Don't forget to bring it down kind of onto your neck too. I think I ended up, so my dress on my wedding day was strapless, and so I ended up blending it all down my neck, onto my chest. I think I also blended this onto my chest as well because I wanted like my collarbone and all of that to look super glowy, in my shoulders as well. So I took this and blended it everywhere. Obviously I'm wearing a sweatshirt now, I'm not going to do that, but with brushes, doing foundation, I always get scared that there's going to be brush lines on my face, so I always go back over it and just kind of pat everything down with a beauty blender just to make sure that it's like seamlessly blended into my skin. There's no lines, nothing like that. Now we are going to go in with cream bronzer. So I did not buy a new one. I love the liquid contour that I use. It is this Milani liquid contour. It's a little like sponge on the end. I get it in the color Toffee. I love it. I use it all the time. This one's almost gone. I have a new one ready to go. So I'll squeeze it out onto the brush and I will literally just like put it onto the back of my hand so that I can grab it from there. Sometimes I find that using the sponge and putting it directly on my face will kind of take off the makeup that's underneath. So I put it on the back of my hand and grab from the brush, or grab from there with the brush. I use this fluffy brush that's in the same little Morphe thing. It's kind of like a little contour brush, like it's a little bit flatter on the end. So I will just take that, take a little bit on the brush. You can always add more, and just start blending it into my cheekbone. You want to go a little bit higher than you think. Like I'm basically like on my cheekbone right now because that will end up bringing your face up and it'll give the appearance that your cheekbones are higher than they might actually be. I'm gonna take whatever's left, start blending it onto my forehead. I'm gonna start with the other side as well. And I do not rub with this, with the brush. I pat it in. I feel like that just works better with this product. Not all products might be like that, but this one definitely does. I'm gonna go in one more time on either side and just kind of continue the little contour. Now I'm gonna take this like little flat angled brush to do some like smaller area contouring, like my nose and below my lip. I will just take a little bit and kind of press it into the side of my nose like this. The good thing about this is that we're gonna go back in with some concealer and stuff, so if you do end up getting a little bit too much bronzer on your nose, which is really easy to do, you can always go and correct it with concealer. I will also bring this up below my eyebrows. Okay, the last place that I will contour is right below my lip, literally right there. It just gives the appearance of your bottom lip being a little bit fuller, and I need all the help I can in that department. Now we are going to go in with some cream blush. This is the little mini size of, I got it in like a little set. It is the Rare Beauty liquid blush. This is the shade Happy. It's a very light pink, good daytime shade. Y'all can see, sorry, it's next to the contour, but that's the shade that it is. It's really pretty for, again, daytime look, things like that. I love that shade. It's like a go-to of mine. So again, I just put it on my hand, grab it with, this one's the same kind of fluffy brush. It's just more of a round brush, and I use it for blush. And I'll just grab a little bit and start like right on the apples of my cheeks. And I just kind of pat it in circular motions out along with the contour. Again, with this liquid blush, a tiny bit goes such a long way. And you can always add more, but you can't take away the blush that you already have on. So looks a little crazy right now, but we will correct it with some concealer. So again, this NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, I love it. Such a good concealer. It lasts all day. It does not crease, which for me, below my eyes are very prone to creasing. So this plus some setting powder really goes a long way. So I'm just gonna start by putting some like right in the corner of my eye like that, kind of bringing it underneath. And I will also put some right out here as well to highlight. We're just gonna do one little spot at a time so that we can get to it before it dries. But I'm just blending this out with a beauty blender. This is just how I prefer. I've always preferred just using a beauty blender for concealer. I just feel like it works the best for me. It blends the best. Make sure that's all blended out. Very brightening, very smoothing. Love this concealer. I'm also gonna put some right here, just on some spots that I like really want the makeup to stay. Put some on my chin. And then I will also put some in the middle of my forehead as well. I will blend this around the crease of my nose and also kind of down the side of my nose just to continue contouring my nose. This is where I said it's okay if there's a little bit too much bronzer down the side of your nose, because you're gonna cover that up with concealer anyways and really shape it with the concealer. And whatever's left on the beauty blender, I just kind of lightly go down the bridge of my nose. Last place I'm gonna put the concealer is below my contour on my cheeks. So I will just do a little bit just on either side. Blend this out. Make sure you do not go too high with this. So you can already tell the difference that made. It just kind of like lifted up my cheek a little bit more. Next, we are going to set all of this into place. I splurged and got the Mercier setting powder. I got the translucent loose setting powder. Just looks like this. It is so good. I got this for wedding stuff, but I will 100% be repurchasing this like literally for the rest of my life because it's that good. It is pricey, but when I say it is so worth it. So I will take a lot onto the brush and just kind of like tap it out onto the lid. And I'm gonna start underneath my eyes. You really wanna set all of that concealer into place. Obviously my wedding was outside. It wasn't during the summer, so I wasn't really too worried about sweating, besides just from nerves, but I wasn't worried about it being like too hot, being humid or whatever. So really I'm just gonna focus the setting powder everywhere that I put concealer. And there you go. It just kind of smooths everything out. You can definitely see the difference that made. If there's literally one thing that you buy from everything that I'm telling you I'm using, it is this setting powder. I'm not even kidding. I have never been somebody that's really into, I mean, I like the high-end makeup, but I've never been somebody to like buy it all the time and buy it repeatedly. But like I said, this is something that I discovered that literally I will be buying every single time I run out of it. Now we are going to do the eyebrows, which I'm very particular about my eyebrows. I just did them basically the same way that I always do them. Just with, I use this Anastasia, I don't know how to say it, brow pomade. I use the color Soft Brown. I've literally used this, I swear, since I started doing makeup. It's a holy grail of mine. I will forever repurchase this. You also don't want your eyebrows to be too harsh with this look. You want them to be very like, not natural. I mean, if you have great eyebrows, then good for you, but mine obviously are not natural. But I didn't want them to be super dramatic either. I wanted them to look basically how they always do, so I didn't do anything really different with my eyebrows. There's one eyebrow done. makes such a huge difference on my face. Do your eyebrows how you usually do them on your wedding day, especially if you like, I mean, if you want like a dramatic makeup look, then by all means, like, do them however you want. If looking yourself is very important to you, as it was for me, my eyebrows were something that I was like, this is a non-negotiable. Like, I will be doing my eyebrows whether I do my entire makeup or not. After I fill them in, I take this, the label's rubbed off, but it's the Benefit Gimme Brow. I like this just because it keeps my eyebrows in place, not really for the color of it, but I will take it and brush all of them upwards, and then I'll go back and just take like my regular spoolie and just kind of tame some of the eyebrows down. Next up, we are going to highlight. I know I already put powder on, but I'm using this liquid highlight. Again, it's that Milani liquid highlighter. I have it in the shade Lunar. Love this stuff. I always use it after I put powder on, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but I find that the powder really covers it up if I do it beforehand. So again, I'm going for an extremely like very glowy look. So I went very heavy with the highlighter. Highlighter is one of those things that you want to go really heavy with, and like, especially if you want it like shown in pictures, which I feel like looking back in pictures, I was really happy with the amount of highlighter that I did do. I felt like it was very glowy and you could just tell. So I literally just take this with my finger. I'm putting it on the top of my cheekbones, just on the outside, blending it in. Some other spots that I will do it in are right above my eyebrows, like right up there. Then I'm gonna take it on my nose, down the bridge, and definitely like on the tip of your nose as well. Another spot right above your lips as well. I also took this along my collarbone and did it all over. The next thing I'm gonna do is some powder highlight as well. Again, really heavy on the highlight. This is so funny. Again, this is like such an old thing, but it's the Becca pressed highlighter. My sister had the Champagne Pop shade. I don't have that shade. That's what I used on the actual day of, because it's a little bit of a like golder shade of it. But I am just going to take like a little fluffy brush, just a little bit of this. And I went pretty heavy with the Champagne Pop, I felt like, on my collarbones and all the same places. Technically you are setting that liquid highlighter that you just put on. I will also take this powder highlighter and put it underneath my brow bone, or on my brow bone I mean, and in the inner corners of my eyes. This is pretty much it for the face. Now that I have like my face done, I'm gonna tweak some of the eyeshadow and just get it exactly where I want it. First, I am going to take some of the brown that I used and I'm gonna go underneath my lower lashes just to kind of like complete the look. It just kind of opens up your eyes a little bit more, just kind of completes everything. So I'm taking that like lightest shade of brown that I used and pulling that underneath. Just brings the entire eyeshadow look together. Go very light with this as well. You don't want your eyes to be too dark on underneath. Also, if you hear yelling, it's because my husband is over in the other room playing video games and he's currently screaming right now. I am going to take one of the same eyeshadow brushes that I used for some of the lighter eyeshadow earlier. I'm gonna take that really like shimmery cream shade and I'm just going to work it into my inner corner again, and this time I'm gonna bring it out just a little bit onto my lower lash line. Just kind of blending it with that darker shade that we just put on there, but I definitely want my inner corner to pop and be as bright as it can be. Now I'm gonna go in a little bit more and just kind of like touch up the wing just a little bit. With the powders and stuff that you put on, obviously it's gonna like just rub off just a little bit. Be very careful with this. Obviously you don't want it to be too harsh. Work from the outside and go outside, or work from the inside and go outside. Like go from your eye outwards. I might take just this fluffy brush, a little bit of some dark brown, and just kind of like right along the inside of that wing, blend it just a little bit because you don't want the wing to be too harsh either. That is it for the face. We are going to take some setting spray. The setting spray I have on hand is this Milani Make It Last. I like it a lot. I used a nicer brand of a setting spray. Use again whatever works for you. I had done some research and seen some that I really liked, but I knew that some of my bridesmaids had some nicer ones and they said I could just use it. So I was like, if I like this for a day-to-day use, then I'll just use theirs for my wedding day. And the setting spray, I 100% went overboard with. We're gonna go in with the eyes now. I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. I used fake lashes. That's what we're gonna do today. Kind of show you how I did them, bring the whole look together. It's actually crazy what the lashes do. But first I did curl them and I put on just a tiny bit of waterproof mascara. Waterproof, okay? Waterproof. If you're like me and you know that you're gonna sob all day long, use the waterproof, I'm telling you. So I used just this L'Oreal Lash Paradise waterproof mascara, one little coat on my top lashes. And I am not somebody that's big on a lot of mascara underneath, so I will just take like kind of on the outer half of my lower lashes and put some there. You can kind of see that like I didn't bring it all the way in. I just want like kind of the outside to pop. For the eyelashes, I used little, I didn't use a whole lash strip. I used little lash individuals and I really liked doing that. I just like the way that that looks rather than a strip. I think it just looks more natural than a strip does. Obviously you can tell that they're falsies regardless, but I use this Falscara Bond and Seal. One side is a little bond and the other one you put it on after the lash and it seals them to your eyelashes. I'm gonna start on the outside and I'm just taking these little tweezers, but you want to do this like little by little. So I'm going to start with the bond and you literally just put it, I'm going to start it on like the outside of my lashes. I also will take longer pieces for the outside and shorter for the inside. And I place them underneath my lashes. I feel like it gives you a more natural look. It stays better, for me at least. There we go. I'm gonna get shorter and shorter pieces as we go inward. I don't want super, super long lashes all the way towards the inside. So there's the lashes on, and then you just take the seal side and I just like very much towards the lash line will just brush it on here and just kind of press it into my lashes. It really just makes sure that those lashes that you put on are going to stay. There is one side, obviously you can tell the difference. It just makes it a little bit more dramatic, makes your eyes pop just a little bit. Definitely budget out time for your eyelashes because you don't want to be doing them in a rush. One, it's gonna stress you out. Two, this is a huge part because you do not want your eyelashes falling off throughout the day. You might not always have the chance to like walk away and fix them. Okay, lashes are done. Obviously this just like brought together the whole makeup look. Now it is time for the very last step, which is lips. Again, this is a huge preference thing. This is a lip combination that I absolutely love. I love all of these lip products so much. I wear them all the time. I am using the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner and lipstick. And then over top, I wanted them a little bit glossy. I didn't want them super matte. So I'm taking the Tarte Maracuja Lip Plump in the shade Primrose, I believe is the shade that I'm using. So we're gonna line the lips. This was another thing that regardless of if I got my makeup done or not, I was going to do my own lips because I wanted to be able to have the products with me to be able to reapply throughout the day if needed. I'm taking the lipstick, putting it right over top. Also, you guys could probably see, but I fill in my lips with the lip liner as well. I just find that it stays the best that way. There is the Pillow Talk, but I really wanted a little bit of shine to mine, so I am just putting this lip plump over top of it. Really just goes with the glowy look of everything. But yeah, this is the final look. I was so happy with the way that my wedding makeup turned out that day. I got lots of compliments on it. Also, make sure you have somebody doing a teeth check, making sure that your lipstick or lip gloss is not on your teeth. I was so happy with the way this makeup look turned out the day of. Again, it was just so nice to be able to just take an hour for myself and just sit and do my makeup. It's something that I really enjoy doing. I find that I just really like the way my makeup looks when I do it myself. So I was happy with the way that this looked in pictures. I felt like the eyes were just dramatic enough to show up in pictures, but not too dramatic to where it was a very dark makeup look. I will leave a list of the products that I used in the description. So if you guys are wanting to do your own makeup or you're just kind of thinking about it, you can start browsing some of these products. I highly recommend all of the things that I used in this. If I could go back and redo it, I would do it the exact same way. And I would not be making this video. I would not be recommending this if I didn't actually truly love it that day. This was something that I was just so happy with, and I look back on pictures and I'm just so happy with the way that my makeup looks in all the pictures. I remember just feeling like such a bride that day. I feel like this is just such glowy bridal makeup. And yeah, I hope that if you guys are thinking about doing your own makeup for your wedding, this helps you decide whether or not to. I highly recommend it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's so much fun, and you can just kind of add your own little spark to the day. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.